Now this rapper right here definitely needs to be stopped pronto, and I mean it. What's going on with you today? I hope you're doing good. I want to have a little conversation about this 9-year-old rapper who doesn't really sound like a 9-year-old rapper. So that's a song called 60 Miles by a 9-year-old child by the name of Lil RT. Now if you guys don't know who Lil RT is, Lil RT is a 9-year-old boy who started going viral a couple weeks ago after he dropped a song titled 60 Miles. Now 60 Miles is about doing 60 on a freeway, so breaking the law, but if that's not bad enough, because I wish this song was only about doing 60 on a highway, the song is also about brutally killing people. A topic we as hip-hop fans are very familiar with because that's what 80% of the music in hip-hop right now is about. But Lil RT started going viral on social media after this record dropped for the wrong reasons, because there should be no reality where a 9-year-old gets celebrated and compensated with attention because he's talking about these vile things. And it's ironic because you would think any of the adults present in the music video would have something to say, but here's the thing. All the adults who played a part in bringing this record to life are all as lost as this 9-year-old kid. If they're not lost, well, then they're choosing to be ignorant because they're benefiting from the dysfunction. How sad, isn't it? We live in a culture now where the grown-ups are just as lost as the little kids they're supposed to guide. There's actually a rapper who comes into play here because, you know, this rapper is of course a grown-ass man. He's 29 years old, so he's turning 30 next year. This 29-year-old man decided to hop on a remix to this record by 9-year-old Lil RT. So he jumped on a remix, and it turns out that it was actually more dysfunctional than the original record. The rapper in question goes by the name of Doughboy, by the way. He's a Cleveland, Ohio native, signed to Future's Free Bands imprint, but he jumped on a remix to this song where this 9-year-old kid is essentially talking about wiping out his entire community with Glocks and shit. And Doughboy received some backlash for this, rightfully so, and I'm happy this was the case because, you know, when I seen this, I told myself, if people don't have the same reaction to this as me, I don't think I can hold on to the little hope that's left inside of me. Luckily, a lot of people were saying, what in the world is this? A grown-ass man enabling this dysfunction and making money from it. It's whack, right? Now, 29-year-old Doughboy, however, had some things to say about it, and I'm sure you could predict what his answer is gonna be, so let's check it out.
I've been seeing all them goddamn comments and all the little posts and all the tweets and all that shit, just hating on the little nigga. Like, that shit lame as hell though, cause at the end of the day, shit, he 9 years old. Think about, like, I don't know if you from or we from type shit, but where I'm from, goddamn, that's a regular little nigga in the hood. Like all our young niggas act like that though. They run around cussing, they be bad as f. So it's like that shit just it's not really nothing too crazy. So it's like shit, at least he trying to do something positive though. Like him rapping is gonna change his life. It's gonna change his life and it's gonna make his life good so he don't have to grow. Cause in a couple years, if his life don't change, that little nigga gonna be thugging. Cause he already thugging. But that little nigga gonna be thugging in a couple years if he don't get it out. So hell, you have to help that little nigga get the check. Nigga, I don't give a fuck who got nothing to say about it. Get suck my dick.
So obviously, my guy right here is too grown to think like this. Like seriously, that's a regular little nigga in the hood, meaning I know what this boy's rapping about is a bunch of foolishness, but I'm still with that knowledge in mind, gonna promote, celebrate, and defend this dysfunction because I don't care about nobody or nothing but feeding my own pockets. I don't care if the content that's in his bars ends up haunting him for the rest of his life. I don't care if me co-signing this leads to more young black boys thinking this is the way to live and move. At the end of the day, I'm here to make my money, even if it means pushing this boy into a life that's most likely going to lead to his demise. So that's what he should have said in the video if he wanted to keep it 100. Now these are the so-called leaders in hip-hop now. What a sad sight. Grown men leading these little boys into a life that they cannot go back from. Grown men encouraging these young boys to promote and live a life of crime. That's what the culture has come to now. And there's a lot of guys like Doughboy in the genre of hip hop. Now the difference between him and a lot of these other guys is that he was just dumb enough to show us how little he cares for the kids who look like him. He was also dumb enough to defend his stance with confidence, and I can assure you, he's not the last rapper that's gonna do this. You can come back to this video when it happens, but within a year or even 6 months, some of the more popular rappers in the game are gonna be co-signing this young boy, not because they're fucking with the movement, but because several checks will be cut. So the so-called grown-ups in hip-hop who are supposed to lead the youth are doing the opposite. They are destroying the youth. Now more specifically, who takes the blame for this? Well, not the adults in hip-hop, because Lil RT isn't their responsibility. It's the legal guardians, right, the adults around him, who take the blame. I think we can agree on the fact that Lil RT is only a thing because of the financial incentive that's present here. And the question I have is, where really is his family? Can someone tell me where his mother or his father is? Because I'm looking at this music video and I'm seeing a bunch of adults, but I don't see nobody who's looking out for this little boy. As a matter of fact, I see a lot of people capitalizing off of the innocence of this little boy. Now, the question I have is, who's responsible for this? Because if you guys don't know, when it comes to scenarios like this where we have very questionable content coming from a 9-year-old, on a back end of things, there's always, and I mean always, a beneficiary. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that there's someone behind the scenes who's pulling the strings to make this happen. That person is most times as well the same person who's monetarily gonna benefit from this as well. Because 9-year-old Lil RT didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm gonna talk about doing 60 miles and talk about wiping out my brothers and sisters on a record for millions to listen to. No, that's not usually how it works. How it usually works is there's always an initiator behind the scenes who's propelling everything by making all the right moves on the behalf of the kid. This initiator is a lot of times the same person who's putting up the resources for it as well. So what I'm saying in other words is this little kid is getting pimped. That's number one. And number two, this is the work of the music industry. They're not only funding this young boy's career, they're also behind the marketing plan for how they're going to make him pop. And unfortunately, in this case, we have a kid who should be playing with Legos and sipping on his little juice being placed at the forefront of a warfare. Because that's exactly what this is. The content this song actually contains, combined with the lifestyle, creates a very dangerous concoction, especially if you're a young black man or a young black boy in this case. This is how you become a mark. And let me also add this, right? This is all by design. So this is not by mistake. It's a part of the programming that they're trying to push through hip hop, which is we start grooming these young black boys to take each other out as young as possible. We have them tell these stories that involve murder and cold blood, drive-by shootings, pushing a bunch of dope into their community. So the destruction starts from the inside out. Because if you want to taint the source, you do so by starting from the core. And that will, in effect, trickle self into whatever it is that you're trying to taint. The sad and very dark reality of this is it leaves a very few select group of people rich off of the same dysfunction that they're promoting in the community by providing the funds and the structure for this to take place. While the actual actors, i.e. the people who they put in these positions, in this case a 9-year-old boy, it leaves them or him in a position where his life is now at stake. Because this kid right now is a famous gangbanger before he's even reached a multiple digit age. So that's the place we're at in hip hop right now, okay? And the crazy thing is there's people who either think this is normal and or they justify it because it's just music. Or so they think, because it's actually way deeper than quote unquote just music. It's a way of living. And if you don't have any sensible adults around you like Lil RT, you become the meal ticket that they're actively pushing towards this lifestyle because there's so much money in the promotion of it. And these major labels know that. Let me tell you a little secret about the major corporations who own the music. Their focus is not signing actual rappers with a plan for their career and future, because that kind of rapper is very hard to control, and he's also intelligent enough to see through the BS that the industry tries to feed the artist. Their focus is signing rappers, 95% of them unfortunately being black men, who unfortunately are already bought into the gangbanging lifestyle and are willing to promote it for a little bit of money. So all they need is a little bread to keep the train going. So they give him this big bag of money, an advance, which is really a loan that won't allow you to make a cent off your music until you recoup the amount they gave you. That's another conversation for another day. It's actually very poignant and dark if you think about it. I just think it's crazy how this 9-year-old kid is being set up to live a life he didn't really choose. That life is gonna haunt him forever. There's no reality in this life, okay, where you talk about killing people and that doesn't come back to bite you in some way, okay? It doesn't exist. But the thing is, Lil RT has no clue what's going on. He's just mimicking the same behavior he's witnessed from all the adults around him. And he's also just doing what they tell him to do because he's a kid. So his parents, all the adults around him, and his community failed him greatly. When we see babies telling stories about how they're cold-blooded killers and that music is getting promoted and encouraged, I think it's at that point we definitely need to start taking a hard look at the culture and what it's pushing. It ain't nothing new or anything we haven't seen before, but it is indeed a new type of low. And you know what? you know who's laughing to the bank? It's the labels, because they know what kind of door this opens up. It gives them an opportunity to promote this archetype of rapper in the future so they can continue making their money. Now, what I mean when I say this is Lil RT is just the first of many. The fact that he went viral now gives the industry an incentive to look for rappers of this archetype so they can then put them on a platform and give them money to promote all this dysfunction. And here's the thing, right? The target demographic, who do you think it is? Well, it's young black boys who look like Lil RT. There's a lot of those in the world, but specifically a lot of those in our backyard who are already indoctrinated into the gangbanging lifestyle. So Lil RT is essentially being used as a tool to condition young black boys into picking up a gun and being violent and upping the score on the ops and killing a mama. If there's one thing the industry loves, it's recruiting these young boys to push this way of living that's causing so much pain and suffering in our communities. If you want to brainwash an entire generation, you do it through the music, because music has this thing called frequencies, and those frequencies can literally change the state of our subconscious mind. Here you have a 9-year-old talking about killing in the most vile way possible. The industry promotes him because they're benefiting from it, and in return they make a bunch of money while at the same time indoctrinating these kids into the gangbanging lifestyle. And I really want you to understand that this is all very intentional. It's not by mistake that the majority of the rappers labels are signing and promoting are young black men who come from impoverished backgrounds. When you offer someone who came from nothing in the world, they won't feel like there's anything to lose because they ain't got shit. Human beings are designed to survive, and if someone throws you a lifeline while you're drowning, you're gladly gonna take it. The unfortunate thing is a lot of these young men who come from these impoverished backgrounds not only don't have the knowledge, direction, nor structure to make whatever deal they're getting offered benefit them in the long run, they also don't have the foresight to predict how it's gonna end. Because how it usually ends for a lot of them is you end up dead before you even recoup the first advance that they gave you. Because statistically, you rap about violence, violence comes your way and finds you somehow. As for Lil RT, it's extremely sad to see that this is what the culture promotes now. Babies promoting warfare to other babies. Not a single adult is intervening. And the adults that are present are making bang from this young boy, obviously. Clearly, he doesn't have anyone who's actually looking out for him. His family is supposed to do that. But what happens when your own family complies with putting you on a platform that'll turn you into a famous gangbanger overnight? This is what the culture has come to, and it's truly sad. There's absolutely nothing entertaining about this story. I'm just wondering why no one is directing this young boy to rap about things that are more relevant to his age. I hope this young boy stays safe, and I hope he makes it to his teenage years safe and sound. The kind of platform the music industry provides for these young kids, man, is absolutely disgusting and is sick. My message to all the young bulls out there, like Meek Mill likes to say, is use this gift that you have called musical talent for something that matters. Tell an actual story, stand on a message that speaks life into the world, your community, and the youth. Say no to all this dysfunction that they want us to push. Music is a very powerful tool, and what you do with that tool is up to you as an artist. You don't have to follow the trend of telling stories that'll haunt you and your bloodline for the rest of your life, because the stories you tell often manifest itself in the physical. Imagine telling the same story over and over and over and over again. What kind of spell does that put on a listener and you? Food for thought. Anyway, any thoughts on this topic? Lil RT is a 9-year-old young rapper who's out here talking about what he's talking about. They start him off so young now. It's crazy, and it's very unfortunate. But do you have any thoughts on this topic? Curious to hear what you have to say. With that being said, catch you on the next one. I'm out.